Hello, everyone. I'm Marlisa, Stitchy Noir, here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and welcome to my channel all about cross stitch. So this is Flosstube number 7, and I'm here with my little stitch buddy, Sweetheart. He holds my orts for me. He's my little stitching companion, and you've seen him in previous videos if you've watched. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you hit play and decided to check me out. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for your support and for coming back. So when last we talked, that was right before Halloween, like 2 days before Halloween, I think is when I last filmed. And for those last couple of days of October, all I did was work on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I'm not going to show that today because I didn't finish that first block. I'm still in that first block, so it's really not probably worth showing. And that's going to go away until next stitching season for Halloween, which for me starts early. It's going to be over the summer, so it's not going to languish for too long. But I wanted to sort of focus today on autumn and Thanksgiving stitching. I know that for many people, end of Halloween or maybe even before means Christmas, and for retail they were putting Christmas up while Halloween was up. And so I love Christmas. I love Christmas stitching. I just feel like Thanksgiving just doesn't get its just due. So I really like to decorate for Thanksgiving. We host Thanksgiving at our house every year. And so I like to get Thanksgiving up in between and enjoy it a little bit. We don't have a true autumn here in South Florida. If you're local to South Florida, then you know. If you know, you know. And we don't get leaves changing. We don't, aside from maybe one or two little cold fronts, we don't get that cool, crisp autumn kind of weather that so many others around the, certainly the country, the world do. But we have to manufacture it if we want it. And so as you can see here, just in the background, there's some things, and the rest of the house has lots of manufactured autumn, and I'm just, I'm fine with pretending. So so today's just going to be all about Thanksgiving autumn stitching before heading headlong into Christmas. So hope you don't mind. And for those of you who really love autumn, hope you enjoy this. But I'm going to start with something not, having said all that, I have some finishes, some starts, now whips, a little bit of acquisition, and so we'll do all of that. So a little bit of everything. But before we start getting into Thanksgiving, I have something not Thanksgiving to show you, which is my one FFO since we last talked. And I couldn't show it as a whip before because it was a gift. So this is You Shall Not Pass. And this is by Bad Stitch. It's on 14 count silk weaver mystery opal. Did not write it down. Maybe I didn't even have it to write down when I picked it up. And this was for my brother's birthday. So my brother is huge Tolkien, not just a fan, but an aficionado. And he also loves frogs. So when I saw this pattern from Amanda, it was like a no-brainer. So you've got Frog Gandalf here facing Dragonfly Balrog in the famous scene from the first book of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Fellowship of the Ring. And there he is doing his best to ward off the Balrog and protect his compatriots. And so a couple things about this finish, this little white patch, I was really hoping that it would show up to sort of like to show the magic emanating from Gandalf and his staff there. And the other thing is I framed this deliberately, kind of leaving a lot of the fabric. I normally would go in closer on this because I did frame this myself, but I just love the fabric so much. It's just so gorgeous that I wanted to show as much of it as possible and sort of, again, reinforce the kind of magical element of the design. So just really wonderful. I gave it to him. His birthday is, beginning of November, so I had to take this back from him. So he's going to get it back now. But I did want to show it to you because I just love this finish, and I couldn't show it before. So that's my one at FFO. I have two finishes, and they're both autumn Thanksgiving themed, and I was really hoping that I would have them as FFOs to show you, but it just didn't make it, and I really did want to film before it got too close to Thanksgiving. So, but I am going to show you. I know exactly how they're going to get FFO'd, so I can show you how that's going to be done. So first is Red's Treehouse by Ink Circles, and here is Red's Treehouse. It's on 14 count lamb's wool Aida, which is more color true like there. The pattern is 80 by 53, and it's just adorable. Both of these finishes that I'm showing you today were whips from last Thanksgiving autumn season. So I finished them up, and now they're gonna go on display. So I love squirrels, and I just love all the colors and little Red and Red's house, her little house there that she's keeping going. And so I just love all the detail here. So, and this was didn't take too long. I mean, it was a whip, but so I carried it over, but it really didn't take too long. And the great thing is, I think in the pattern, I think in the pattern, she had it on a 16 count, and she said it would fit in a 5x7 frame. But even on a 14 count here, it is going to fit in a 5x7 frame. So that's really nice, convenient if you want to frame it yourself. And here is the frame that it's going to go in, and it looks really great. Let me see if I can. It's just sort of how it's going to look, and I mean, it's wood burn, so hopefully it doesn't give the impression that Red's Treehouse is burning down, but, we'll just go with it, because I just thought this was so awesome and rustic for this finish, and it fits perfectly in it. So there's that. And the second finish that I have to show you is The Most Wonderful Feast, and this is by Sue Hillis Designs. And this is on 16 count toasted almond by Fabrics by Stephanie. And the pattern is 164 by 84. So it's about, on 16 count, it ends up being about 5 by 10, the design size approximately. So not in any way a standard size. But, and the colors are beautiful, all the detail is just amazing. But, if you're not a fan of backstitch, I would not recommend tackling this pattern. Backstitching in my house is known as, because I complain about it, is known as stack bitching, because my husband hears me complain about it, and that was his word for it. So a lot of stack bitching in this pattern, but you need it, of course you do. I mean, without it, you wouldn't see any of this. How some designers, the backstitching, you can't just leave it out. Like Soda Stitch, for instance, the backstitching just makes it looks like nothing without it. Here it looks like something, except it looks a lot better with it. So all the middle letters and the motifs in here, plus the leaves and the acorns, are all backstitched, but not these letters, which is good. It gives you a little bit of a break there. But look at some of this detail. I mean, you've got all the food and the corn, and of course the wonderful, wonderful turkey. I just love him. I am such a fan of Thanksgiving turkeys and turkey patterns, and you'll see in a minute more about that later. But so this is really going to be so much fun to display, and especially because the feast is always at our house. So I thought this would be a really good pattern to have displayed. So again, that was The Most Wonderful Feast by Sue Hillis. And here is how I'm planning on finishing it. We'll see. So as you've seen in my other videos, and I've mentioned that I love to go thrifting. And speaking of my brother, who I was just mentioning, he and I go thrifting all the time, and we pick up a lot of interesting things. And I love to look for things that I can finish cross stitch in, not just frames, but other things too. And I wanted to do something different with this, something that was just not just a frame. And I was looking for a tray, like a kind of a vintage wooden sort of tray I could put it in. And we went to like 6 stores and we didn't find anything, which seems strange to me, but okay, whatever. But we did find this, and it's a basket. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and it's almost perfectly the size. The bottom of it is almost perfectly the size of this design, and so I'm going to mount this on some foam board probably, and raise it and give it like a little bit of a raise so it's not like flat on the bottom. Maybe, I don't know, I'll see how it looks both ways, see how if I want to raise it or not. But then leave it in here and sort of display it on its side is what I'm thinking. And I love the wooden handles, and you know, I think having displaying it in a food serving vessel or something associated with food is apt. So this was like $2. So and it's in absolutely perfect condition. So I think this is going to be really interesting, I hope. And so we'll see. I'm probably going to do these fully finishes over the weekend, and then if you follow me on Instagram, I will post them on Instagram so you can check out what they look like, because probably I'm not going to show them in my next video because we'll be then on to Christmas, and that's probably all anybody's going to want to think about or watch. So we'll probably let that go. But if you check out my Instagram, you'll see them, what they turned out to be, and let's hope they turn out okay. So before we move on to starts and what I've got, whip-wise, I did want to share one of my favorite previous autumn finishes that I've done. And this is a pattern that I don't really see stitched that. I mean, I'm not even sure if I've seen anyone. I'm sure people have, but I've not seen anyone do this one. And this is Olivia Ochreleiph from Silver Creek Samplers. And this is on 16 count fog by Picture This Plus. And the pattern, it's 123 by 126. And speaking of thrift store, this was a thrift store frame. And just look how beautiful I mean, of course I'm here to show you stitching, but the frame is just not only the perfect size, but just the perfect coloring and really just so interesting. And that's the thing, it's not just about the cost. Of course, thrifting is economical, but you find such interesting odd size frames with really unusual colors and just not what you're going to get in, on Amazon or anywhere, even Michael's or anything like that. So this worked out really well. And I just love the saying, which I'm going to have to turn it around to read it to you, if in case you couldn't see it in the video. She wears a dress of scarlet red and orange leaves from overhead that sparkle with a frosty glow, soon buried in a winter snow. I'll give you a closer look of the colors there. So I just love this design. And it hangs right as you enter in our house, so you can see it right away. Okay, so that is finishes. Whips, what am I working on? These are both that I'm going to show you starts that I just started after or while I was finishing these other ones just recently. So the first one is Mouse's Pumpkin Pie from Tiny Modernist. Cute, cute, cute. Look at all these little details, and there we have an awesome turkey, but just so cute little mouse. And I have a Christmas, one of the Christmas mouse designs, as well as Halloween mouse design from Tiny Modernist. So adding Thanksgiving to it. And so here is where I am so far. And this is on 16 count white chocolate Witchold Ada. It's only 59 by 59, so it should be, but most of that area is stitched, so it should be quick. Finished that slice of pumpkin pie last night while watching my Bills team disastrously lose on television, but anyway, the cross stitch is coming along fine. So here's the pumpkin pie, and I'm hoping to get both of these, this and the other one I'm going to show you, hoping to get both of those done. Probably not this year, but next year. So wherever we are with this is going to be where they end up, and then they'll go away till next year. So that is start/whip number 1. And the second one is one that I had kitted up with all the fabric and floss and everything, but I never did start last year, and that is Cozy Little Cottage by Counting Puddles. And I have a few Counting Puddles designs. I have a Christmas one too, which I'm hoping to start this year during my Christmas stitching. And so this was the first Counting Puddles that I've done, and it's really been fun to stitch. And here's where I am so far. And this is on 14 count sparkling cider, an opal from Silk Weaver, and that is not the color. This is probably more like it back here. It's a really rich cidery gold. So that's where we are so far. Right now it's looking rather gray in the photo, or I mean in the video, so I'm sorry about that, but it is more like that. So this one is 102 by 101. It's a little bit bigger, and I will probably finish it in a round frame or hoop like it's pictured, because it does lend itself to that shape for the design. But look at how cute those little mice are with their little cups and their pie. It's coming out, and this is DMC, the called for DMC, and it's coming out not as vibrant. The photo is more vibrant as far as the coloring, like the orange of the pumpkin there's a little bit more muted, but hopefully it will still look good in the final iteration. So that's Cozy Little Cottage. Okay, so that's as far as where I am with stitching. I don't think I'm going to start anything else autumn or Thanksgiving. It's less than a week before Thanksgiving, and I will probably be stitching Thanksgiving through Thanksgiving weekend, and then start my Christmas stitching after that. So we'll see. I mean, I do have other things that I wanted to start, one of which I'm going to show you in a second in my acquisitions, but I had, for instance, a couple of Lola Crow patterns that the squirrel pattern I showed in my last video with all the acorn pile, and I have that all kitted up, and I picked out fabric and everything's ready to go. I just don't know if I just don't know. I think I might see how fast the mouse goes, and if I finish that up, I might start something else to go into next year, but we'll see. So all right, so a few acquisitions. I don't really tend to buy that much, and I somehow I think I say this and then I show you what have I bought. So first thing are some Bestitch Me fabrics from Friday Night Fight Night. If you're not familiar with Bestitch Me fabrics and or her Brandy's Friday Night Fight Night events, this is in a Facebook group, usually about once a month, and she posts fabrics that you can just claim, and you know they're one-offs or colors that she's introducing, and she's got albums, 16 count, 18 count, 14 count, 32 count, you know, whatever you're stitching, linen, Ada. She's got all kinds of variety in what she dyes. She dyes fabric and silks, and their fabrics are just beautiful. And so why is it fright? Yeah, it's kind of like fright, because you're so keyed up trying to get stuff, because it's a, you know, first come first serve, you know, kind of a virtual brawling for fabric on Facebook, and you got to claim it, and you don't necessarily know. I mean, if you're just trying to go through, you don't really know necessarily what's later on in the album, because you're just trying to claim stuff, because people are claiming at the very same time you are, and you may or may not get it. So sometimes you get nothing. And then sometimes you get 4 things, which I did this time, which is a little bit more than I had anticipated. But I love them all, and so I'm going to show them to you. They are all 16 count, Ada. This is Dusty Cottage. And there, that's about accurate. It's a little yellower in person, but I just love this. This is a great neutral that is going to go potentially for so many possible things. Okay, and this next one, and I love the name of this. This is called Devil's Claw. Just look at this really wonderful, cool modeling, all the magenta and the turquoise on this dark beige. So really just a lot of interesting possibilities there. And then this is another great name, Headless Horseman. So really wonderful. Yeah, that's better right there. These are all fat quarters. And an opal Headless Horseman, which if I had seen the opal first, I probably would have just claimed the opal, but it's okay. I mean, I will use them. And there we go. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with these, but so anyway, they're really fun. The Friday night fight nights. There's another one coming up. I think the Friday right after the day after Thanksgiving, pretty sure. And she said, I think it's going to be dessert and food themed colors. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's there. So that was one acquisition since I last saw you. And also I went to the cross stitch cupboard last week, and I met up with Sheila from Sunshine Stitchers, which was really fun and terrific to sit and chat and stitch with her for the afternoon. And I think we had a great time. And so while I was there, Karen, the owner, had I'd forgotten that I had this pattern that I had asked for, and so she let me know it was in, and it is a Halloween, of course. This is from the Primitive Hare, the Woodland Stitchy Friends Hedgehog. Sorry about the little bit of a glare there, but oh my gosh, look how cute. Little hedgehog with witch hat stitching. So adorable. This is bigger than you would think. It's 109 by 108. So, you know, and yeah, I mean, I'll do it on 16, I'm sure, but it is a little bit bigger than I thought. But I think that little guy is just so cute. So that's going in the pile for next year's Halloween stitching for sure. Also, she had a little bin of discounted threads. So I got this, which is, I think you can see that. That's pretty accurate, I think, as far as the color. This is from Dying for Sass, and it is Bainbridge is the color. But I'm thinking this is going to be really cool for some Halloween lettering, something like that. It's very, as you can see, very variegated. So I don't know what else I might do with it, but I think some good lettering would be a good use for it. So I was able to pick that up. So that was fun. And I also got one of my unicorn patterns that I have been looking for at least 2 years. I know for some of you, unicorn pattern means, you know, you're more than that, but the 2 years have seemed like a long time to me anyway. And I saw this pattern originally on Helen D's Flosstube when she showed, which was I think a couple of years ago when I saw her video, and she showed some Thanksgiving things, lots of turkeys that she does. She loves turkeys also. And so this one, I had a search going on in my eBay for it. So when one would come up, I would know about it. The first time it came up, I didn't get it in time. This time I did. So this is Thanksgiving pattern. This is Erica Michaels, dressed for dinner. Look at how cute. I mean, there's so many good turkey patterns, but look at he's wearing. He's all ready. Not gonna get cooked though, with his walking stick and his little pocket watch, his little watch charm here. So you look at this and you think, oh, that's not small. It's only 52 by 56, and the model is stitched on, I think, like 10 count. So it's not going to be this big. I think I did set aside the fabric. It's going to be 14 or 16, so it's not going to be this big. I do hope I can finish it as a stand-up. And again, going back to Helen D, I'll have to watch her tutorial on that to see how to do that. I've never done a stand-up before, but also many of the threads, because this pattern is from 2002, so not in print anymore and old, and so there's a lot of the called for are discontinued Rainbow Gallery specialty threads that so there were so many that I couldn't being able to find that I'm using the DMC equivalents, and I think it's going to be fine. And I bought like some little watch charms off of Amazon, and hopefully one of those will work for this. And that's I can't even tell you how excited I was when I was able to snag this. So speaking, I was saying, am I going to start anything else for Thanksgiving? I really do want to start this. So maybe if I do find that the other stitching moves along over the next week, 10 days, I will get him going, and probably not finished for this year, but fully finished for this year. But anyway, dress for dinner. Super excited about that. Okay, so plans, right? Christmas stitching, as I said, right after Thanksgiving weekend folds up, I'm going to start Christmas stitching. And my one Christmas whip that I have, which I'll show you just the pattern, which I'm planning on finishing this year, is Christmas Parade from Cottage Garden Samplings. I have Santa done and Squirrel done, and then I am going to just finish the rest of the animals. I am not going to do all of this with the hearts, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do so it doesn't look so empty, but I'm not really feeling the hearts so much. But then if I leave the hearts out, are the letters going to look like they're in space? I don't know. I think I said this in a previous video that I'm still not sure about that. So we're going to have to see how that goes. But Santa was the main thing to finish in this pattern, and I did last year. So I have that ready to go for Christmas stitching. And then we'll see what else I can come up with. I have lots of possibilities to think about for Christmas. Also plans, I am going to be going to the Jingle Ball, the virtual stitching retreat that's hosted by Lindy Stitches annually, and now she's got, I think, seasonal, like 4 times a year. She's got other ones, like I didn't do the Harvest Moon Hangout, was that? I did the Midsummer Stitch though. And so Jingle Ball is happening December 5th through 7th. Tickets are, very reasonable. I think like $15. I'm not sure, but something like that. And there's classes that you can still sign up for. Ones with, many designers doing many types of classes, meet and greet with designers, so much stuff happening, virtual, stitching tables. So I will link the website for Jingle Ball below so you can check it out. And if you're going, I hope that to see you there. And I hope to see some of my virtual Flosstube friends there. And that should be a lot of fun. It's really an easy to navigate platform, and there's so much to do. And a shop with exclusive patterns and other merchandise related to Jingle Ball. So that's definitely worth checking out. So you can do as much or as little as you want. You're not required to show your face. You're not required to do anything. You can just check it out and see what you might want to do. So that should be a lot of fun. And okay, so finally, my movie recommendation. As you guys know, if you've seen my videos before, most of the movies that I recommend are dark. Either they're classic film noir or other, dark kinds of films. So I am not recommending a dark movie today because for Thanksgiving, there's a different one that I want to recommend, which is not dark really. It's very heartwarming and really nice for the Thanksgiving holiday. And that is What's Cooking is the name of the film from 2000. And it's got a great cast. It's got Mercedes Ruehl, Alfre Woodard, Kira Sedgwick, Joan Chen, and many, many others. And it's about 4 families, different races and ethnicities, living in Los Angeles, and how their lives intertwine in unexpected ways over the Thanksgiving holiday. So it's really great, and especially if you like to cook, or you like food and you like to watch other people cooking, this is the movie for you, because it is a cooking movie. It's just so rich in scenes of cooking for the holiday, and how each family uses sort of, traditionally Thanksgiving foods, but puts spins on them and integrates their own foods from their heritage into the Thanksgiving meal. And then all, some of the similarities and differences in the family dynamics and issues that inevitably rise at holiday time. So highly, highly recommend that film, which is free on YouTube. So I'll link that below also. If you really do want a dark Thanksgiving movie, which is not, I can't find any free versions of it, and maybe you're familiar with it, I would recommend The Ice Storm. Ang Lee's The Ice Storm from 1997. This is a really dark film set over Thanksgiving weekend in 1973, and set in Connecticut, and really sort of encapsulating this sense of affluent suburban ennui, disaffectedness, emptiness, that has been often portrayed in other stories. Really, of course, Ang Lee, wonderful director, great cast, Sigourney Weaver, Kevin Kline, and others. And so, yeah, and it's dark. So if you're in the mood for something dark for Thanksgiving, to cleanse your palate of sweet things, that's the one. So you can check it out. I think it's on Amazon for maybe $4, if you really want to see it. But excellent film, but dark, depressing. Anyway, do what you will. And I think that's all I've got for today. Happy Thanksgiving for US-based viewers. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving, hope it's very joyous and rich in love and wonderful food. And be brave, be strong, be true, and be well. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time.